I don't even know where to start. I'll start by saying this. This may be a long review. I'm also going to say this. I did not like this film, so if you are not looking for a very positive review on this film, don't watch this, because you're not going to get that. I'm going to be very critical of this film, and I'm going to be extra critical because Lilo and Stitch is actually one of my favorite films of all time. I loved watching all of the films when I was a kid. That includes Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch, Leroy and Stitch, as well as Stitch the movie. And I vaguely remember watching a lot of the Lilo and Stitch TV series, even though the direct-to-Disney TV channel TV series aren't really that great. I actually found enjoyment out of them. Stitch is just so funny, so chaotic, and I love that about him. So yeah, I'm a fan. And of course, Lilo and Stitch was up next for the live-action remake treatment, and yeah, take a guess how they did with this film. Or don't take a guess. Look at the box office, because to Disney, that's really all that matters. And yeah, there's gonna be more of them. It blows my mind seeing all of the reviews that I saw for this film, because there's no fucking chance this film is as good as people are saying it is. This was, again, one of the worst movies I've seen in 2025, and that's coming from someone who saw Snow White and the Minecraft movie. The only other bad movie I've yet to see is The Weeknd's newest movie, but I'm not there yet. But today we're going to be talking about Lilo and Stitch, and like I said, this is not going to be a very positive review. You can probably guess what score I gave this film. You would also know if you follow me on Twitter, so go ahead and do that while you're at it. And while you're at it, feel free to like this video. It really helps me out so much more than you know, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more reviews, because I will be watching a lot of movies this year. And the next one, and the next one. I don't know about 2028. I don't know, I may just skip that year, but I definitely will be doing movies in 2029. I'm also going to do my best and structure this review as best I can. So we'll talk about major aspects of the film and what I thought about them, and then after that I'll talk about the plot point and specifics, and then I'll give my final score at the end. I will have timestamps down below in the description or on screen right now. Feel free to use them to skip ahead to the sections you like. So yeah, let's get into it. Oh god. First things first, this movie is a live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch, therefore there are going to be human beings in this film. And I thought Disney did a horrible job with casting, and let's go through it all. Chris Sanders is reprising his role as Stitch, so no surprise there. There's no way they would get rid of that. He did a fine job, but it's Stitch. He's really just doing the same thing. I almost even think for a point in the movie that they reused audio from the original 2002 film. I don't really know for sure, but I wouldn't put it past Disney for doing that, considering they did that for The Lion King 2019. Lilo is played by Maya Kealoha, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, and I will always say this. I'm sorry in advance, and I will probably get the other ones wrong. Not really a great choice. As far as the looks of Lilo, I don't really mind this child playing Lilo. It's the fact that this child cannot act, and I don't care that she's a child. There are still plenty of child actors and actresses that do a really good job with what they're given. It's clear Disney was just going through the catalog and seeing people who applied and only picked this person because she actually could look like Lilo. Nani was played by Sydney Agudong, and holy fucking shit, I have never seen a more horrible miscasting in my entire life. Why did this woman get the role for Nani? I will never understand. Not only does she barely look like Nani at all, in my opinion, she's just way too light-skinned. I know she was born in Hawaii, and that's cool and all, but you know, Lilo and Stitch had a lot of dark and tanned characters, and Disney really didn't want to take any chance, so they decided to cast this person. Even just throughout the film, the way she was pronouncing certain words just sounded so white. It was so horrible. This person is a horrible actress. Jumba is voiced by Zach Galley. I'm just gonna say that. I hated his voice so much. I'm also very pissed that they changed his accent. Jumba had a very distinct voice, and I'm really pissed off that Disney decided to change that and make him sound super generic. Not only did he sound like an idiot, he was basically an idiot throughout this entire movie. Horrible casting choice. Pleakley was played by Billy Magnuson, and I don't even know what to say. His character in general was just boring throughout the entire film, and he didn't really stand out. David was played by Capo whatever. And he's just such a forgettable character. I swear by the end of this film, you forgot that David was even in this film. Bubbles is played by Courtney B. Vance, and I don't really know what to say about him. He didn't really do anything interesting. He's been in some other films that I thought were pretty fine. He could have been a lot better in this. There's 2 characters that they decided to add. Mrs. Kikoa, played by Tia Curry, and also another forgettable character, as well as Tutu, played by Amy Hill, who is this neighbor character to Lilo and Nani. And she's also very pointless in this entire film. She's supposed to be established as this best friend to Nani, and she doesn't do anything for her at all. There's a point in the film where Nani needs to go apply for jobs, so she has to take Lilo with her. Instead of taking her to the neighbor that she's clearly cool with, no, let's just bring her to the job interviews. Let's introduce this character who is a neighbor character, a friendly neighbor character, a neighborhood Spider-Man, and let's just not do anything with her at all. So yeah, pointless. Pointless. Grand Councilwoman was played by Hannah Waddingham, and I don't really have anything to say about her because it was just uninspiring at all. I don't even recognize her voice that much to be like, oh, that's Hannah. And she's been in other films, including Mission Impossible, that's coming out the same day as this film. So hey, she got her work cut out for her, and she's also been in Game of Thrones, so hey, good for her. And now here's the part you've all probably been wondering, since I'm talking about casting. Gantu. Yeah, he's not in the film. Like, what the fuck? You'd think if they're going to remake Lilo and Stitch, they'd bring back one of the most important characters in the film, almost the main antagonist, but no. According to director Dean F. Camp, they said, Gantu was one of those things that just didn't work so well in live action. We explored it a bit, but ultimately we had to make the decision. And also, I do stand by the decision because I feel like a lot of the things that in trying to ground these characters more and tell a story with a little more emotional depth, especially between the sisters. I feel like you have to free up some real estate to allow that breathing room to do those things. First off, this quote is bull fucking shit. They tried to work Gantu into the film, but they clearly didn't want to animate him because they decided to make Jumba the fucking villain of this film and have him chase Stitch throughout the entire film and everything. They basically replaced Gantu with him. They also had Bubbles do more in this film, so it's almost as if his character was split between Bubbles and Jumba. How the fuck can you tell me that you were trying to make more breathing room for other characters to develop and have all these relationships, yet you took one character out of the film and said it didn't work, but instead took the character and basically put him in 2 other ones? I'm gonna call complete fucking bullshit on that quote. And I don't even have to prove it. If you watch the film, Jumba pretty much does everything that Gantu does. Even Jumba going into human form was used way more than his alien form. It's so obvious they just did not want to animate him, and that's such a shame coming from Disney of all people. And 100%, I guarantee you they're gonna bring him back for the second movie and be like, look guys, we listened, we were able to manage and put him in the film. I guarantee you that's what's gonna happen. They're gonna be fucking pushing the goalposts when it comes to movies. Alright, that's probably gonna be the longest part, I don't know, but let's talk about the characters next. There's not really much I have to say considering I just went on a rant about how everyone didn't really do a good job, and yeah, that's the case. I didn't really think anyone did a really good job at all when it came to acting, and yes, that includes Lilo. I don't really include Stitch because that's mainly animation. No one did a pretty good job. I especially hated Jumba's character because I just couldn't stand his voice or his character at all. Him being the antagonist, I didn't even see Jumba. Like, who the fuck is this guy? David was a complete beta male throughout the entire movie. He was completely creepy at the beginning and was making these weird comments towards Nani, and it just came off so fucking weird. He's not at all the type of character that David was in the original Lilo and Stitch film. Speaking of Nani, she doesn't even look or even try to be like Nani as a character. In fact, she's worse than that. She's apparently late to Lilo's dance performance a bunch of times. She has a pretty beat up car, and she doesn't even have health insurance. And by the way, the whole car not starting in health insurance are going to be major plot points, so look out for that. You know, I'm just going to say it. We're all thinking it. Not only is she like not even looking the part, the body, like what the fuck? I don't even care anymore. It's like this movie hates thick women. I don't know, man. Lilo's like bully slash dance partners are non-existent in this entire film. Yeah, they're not supposed to like Lilo, but they somewhat have this relationship, and there was supposed to be this like underlining thing where they know of each other, but in this entire film they have like 2 lines. Like, they're not even important to Lilo, yet the movie tries to make them important enough to include? What the fuck are these characters? What are their purpose? It was supposed to be a major reason as to why Lilo feels alone and why she doesn't have any friends because she's an outcast, yet the characters that were supposed to help her or make her feel this way are barely in the fucking film. We're just told that Lilo is alone and that she has no friends. We're not shown it, because why on earth would we show it? Let's just tell you guys this information. The neighbor Tutu is completely fucking useless. She doesn't do anything this entire film. She gives words of advice to Nani, and that's literally about it, and they're very pointless. She encourages her to go to school, but that I'll talk about that later. Yeah, everyone else, there's nothing really else to talk about. Everyone else was just pointless and forgettable and not really worth talking about. When it comes to their acting, like I said before, nothing special, nothing interesting. I will say when it comes to Lilo, she could have done a lot more. There's a scene where she's supposed to be sitting alone in a room, listening to her record player and feeling emotional and sad. And it's a film, she doesn't even act like she's sad at all. She acts like she's bored. That's how I was throughout the film. Back to Nani's character, she doesn't even show emotion half the fucking time. She has a very straight, plain face, and it was kind of infuriating because it's like she was told all this information and told all these sad things that's gonna happen if she doesn't start acting right, but she just looks so bored the entire film. Everyone else in this film tried to be so funny, but it just did not work at all. Yeah, painfully bad acting. Yeah, let's talk about more of that. The genre of this film, it's not really that funny at all. I didn't really laugh at all once. I was amused when I saw Stitch on the screen, but that's really it. Of the 5 minutes he was on the screen, that was pretty much my favorite part of the whole film. This is also supposed to be a sci-fi movie, and they barely do anything with that. There's barely any sci-fi in this film. They pretty much take the same things from the film. They don't expand on anything at all. Like, maybe show a different planet or show some other species. It's just nothing interesting at all. They have this gun that makes portals, and they did the whole portal joke, which was done when fucking Portal 2 was out. Yeah, not really a good sci-fi or comedy movie at all. In fact, if I could change its genre, I would change it to boring. Speaking of that, I want to talk about the director and the main writers of this film. Earlier I mentioned, but this movie was directed by Dean Fleischer Camp. And why the fuck was he given this movie to direct? He did direct Marcel, I believe it's pronounced, and I remember that movie getting a lot of high scores, and I remember seeing a lot of recommendations for it, but he did not cook with this fucking film. It's funny because he directed another film called Fraud, and that's the best way I could describe this director as a fucking fraud, because holy shit, didn't do a good job. I don't know how he saw this film and was like, yep, this is good. Let's put this in theaters, even though it doesn't fucking matter because it got a lot of fucking money, and we'll talk about that later. One of the main writers was Chris Bright, I'm not going to say his middle name, who I guess had a hand in Moana and some other movies called Tsuru. I don't really know this film, and I don't know why he was given the job to write for this new movie, should I say remake of Lilo and Stitch. And the other main writer was Mike Van Ways, who pretty much did other stuff like Dear David, Hammerspace, and the Untitled Wizard of Oz horror project, which, again, why the fuck was this movie given to these people? Who is this? Like, can anyone just be a writer and a director nowadays? I'm not trying to say these guys are nobodies, but like, come the fuck on. Did anyone even look at their resume? Yeah, speaking of the writing, let's talk about that for a little bit. The writing was awful and lazy, and the entire film in general was just fucking boring. They had very bad puns and jokes. There were some times they even made a glitch reference, you know, to like, oh guys, look, the second movie, it's a glitch, ah. They did the whole "you lied to me" plot point, which is used in every fucking children's movie from the year 2000 to 2010, and I swear to God, I am so tired of seeing this. I genuinely want to hit my head on a wall every time I see a movie and it does the whole "you lied to me" plot point. It is the sign of a very, very bad and lazy writer. I mentioned it earlier, but Nani having car issues and not having health insurance came up because that's what really made Nani get separated from Lilo, and that's what also helped save Stitch's life. By the way, before I continue, I don't really care about spoilers. This movie is the same fucking movie. If you've seen Lilo and Stitch from 2002, don't bother watching anything else from this year. But yeah, during the climax of the film, Lilo and Stitch were surfing from the practices that Nani was doing for her job. And then that's when Jumba and Pleakley catches up to them and they cause an altercation and Lilo drowns and has to be sent to the hospital, but she's fine. And the hospital clerk is like, oh yeah, everything's will be fine. She'll be ready to go home. We just need to collect your insurance. And it's like, oh no, I forgot to pay for health insurance. And yeah, such a lazy way to bring that back into the film. Towards the end of the film, when Stitch gets saved by Nani, he needs to get his like heart restarted. So instead of using the defibrillators, they bring out a car and the jumper cables and they jumpstart his fucking heart. And there's this moment where Nani's like praying that her car starts on time this time to help save Stitch, even though it's like you could just start the car again. It's not like it's a one-shot type of situation. I don't even know why they made it so serious. They made a lot of fat jokes in 2025 because Jumba is fat. That's the level of writing we're dealing with, folks. We're still making fat jokes in 2025. My God. They even genuinely had a fake death scene for Stitch, and it's so hilarious seeing Stitch like this nearly die, because one, Disney already fucking announced a sequel, so who are you trying to fool? The children, I guess? And two, what a stupid way to kill off a character by making him drown. I know they already mentioned in the beginning of the film that he can't really survive on water, but do you genuinely believe that they were going to do that for Stitch? I like how there was just also no tension in any scene at all. Throughout the entire film, they had such generic music playing, almost as if it was a cue for the children in the audience to tell them how they should be feeling. Yeah, no tension at all. I could not take it seriously, not even for a single second. And again, I don't think that's just because I've seen this film in 2002, therefore I know. But still, this movie could have done a better job of like relaying tension and oh shit, things are gonna go down. Things are getting real bad now. Let's talk about the music while we're at it, because I was just talking about it. The music slash soundtrack for this film was awful. Not only was it super generic at times, it did not capture the beauty of Hawaii at all. It didn't make me think of Hawaii at all, and I will talk about that in just a moment. And not only that, they played Uptown Funk in 2025, the big 25. We are playing this song and it was at a wedding scene. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Who the fuck is listening to this song in 2025? My God. Yeah, very lazy, very just uninspiring, nothing good or worth remembering. Speaking of Hawaii, Hawaii looked at fucking awful. Space doesn't really matter because they only had that scene at the beginning. But Hawaii didn't look beautiful at all. The whole point of Lilo and Stitch was to also show how amazing and fun and beautiful Hawaii is. And you want to know what they did? The first thing we saw when Lilo got out of the ocean, we saw a fucking hotel on a beach. Because of fucking course, corporate fucking Disney wants us to think hotels and Hawaii beaches. This might be a very super nitpick, but I do not fucking care. When you watch the original Lilo and Stitch, they don't show hotels or these massive corporate buildings. I know probably right now if you were to go to Hawaii, there's a lot of them there because why the fuck not? But Lilo and Stitch did a good job of showing how beautiful Hawaii was. They showed off all the plants and the flora. In fact, they barely even showed buildings in general because a lot of the time this movie was showing the plants and the grass and the mountains. This movie did a horrible job with its set pieces and its setting, and I fucking hate it. Because again, of fucking course, Disney, modern day Disney, wants us to see the massive hotels and see how much fun they are so we can all take our families there. And I guarantee you, Disney more than likely owns the hotels that were used to shoot these areas in this movie. I guarantee you it. I wouldn't put it past them. I don't know that for a fact, but I would believe that. So yeah, fuck you, Disney. You didn't even show off Hawaii that much. Hawaii looks so boring and uninspiring. It looks like a place to go on vacation, like any other place in the world. Like, I kid you not, I genuinely think this is the worst part of the film, the setting. It doesn't even feel like Hawaii. Fuck this movie, bro. While we're on the topic of set pieces, cinematography didn't really do anything inspiring. It was just a bunch of lazy shots. Like, there were some shaky cams with a lot of the moments with Stitch because I'm guessing they didn't want to really show off Stitch that much because it's hard to animate him. Yeah, very lazy camera work, very lazy editing. There was a lot of moments where the scene just cuts to another scene. It just cuts to other shit that wasn't even built up at all. There was even a moment where the scene was showing Stitch carrying around the torches with the sticks and everything, and it just cuts to Lilo making a shocked face. It was so bad, so lazy, such a what a lazy fucking movie. Whoever edited this movie needs to be fired. I feel like I've said that before, but holy shit. Just lazy editing, very lazy camera work, uninspiring, so bad. The movie also didn't look that pretty or colorful like I was talking about before. Jumba and pretty much every alien in the film just looked hideous and ugly, and I did not want to look at them for long. And again, it didn't even matter because Jumba and Pleakley was in their human forms for the majority of the film, and it's so obvious they didn't want to animate them. Same thing with Gantu, they clearly didn't want to animate him. I forgot to mention this, but when it comes to the animation and appearance of Stitch in this film, I didn't really like it at all, but it also wasn't that bad. It's just not enough to really change the score that I gave this film, but yeah, Stitch looks passable. So this is in a special category before I was talking about the film and its specifics, the meaning of this film and its like overarching like theme they were trying to go with, and they pretty much tried to stay to the original plot about family sticking together and family, you know, being together despite their differences. But this movie takes the fucking piss on that so fucking much. Also, first off, they say the word Ohana so many times in this fucking film. They were using it as a crutch. Like every 20 minutes, someone had to say the word Ohana. They really wanted you to know what the meaning of Ohana was, but it doesn't even really matter. This film doesn't even follow the whole meaning of Ohana in general. This is slightly, no, I mean, it is a spoiler. It is the really big difference of this film and the original 2002 film. And I mentioned it earlier that Nani wanted to go to school for marine biology, and at the end of the film she does that, and it goes against what this film was saying about Ohana, about family sticking together no matter what. Nani does it literally right before she leaves. She talks about family sticking together, but then she doesn't stick together. What an honest to God disrespectful slap to the face to the original film. Yeah, fuck family. I'm gonna go to school. I definitely don't have a way to do college work from home. That's never been done before. I don't know if Disney made this change because they wanted their female characters to look more powerful and, you know, on their own in a way and be able to take care of themselves, but I wouldn't put it past them. Also, it doesn't even matter because she has a portal gun and she goes and visit Lilo whenever she wants. So I don't even know what this movie is trying to do with its theme and its meaning. Yeah, you can go see your family whenever you want as long as you have a very convenient, handy portal gun. Alright, this is the point where I talk more about the story and the points. I guess you can consider this spoiler talk, but it doesn't really make a difference because it's not that different from the original film. But in case I haven't spoiled too much for you and you don't want to hear anything that's completely, like, different, then yeah, let's go ahead and skip to this part in the film. There's your warning. Anyway, now that they're all gone, this movie, oh god, was a mess. First off, holy fucking shit, the pacing of this film is awful. I didn't want to say this before because usually I talk about the pacing, but oh my god, the pacing is so fast. In the 10 minutes that we take to establish the plot points and beginning of the film in Lilo and Stitch, the live action remake did that in 2 minutes. I am not kidding. The first 2 minutes of this film is so fast. I've never seen a more scatterbrained, more fast-paced series of scenes in my entire life. I promise you, talk to other people about how fast the beginning was. It'll literally blow your mind, especially when you get to see it. So yeah, they just do the same thing, but they didn't really introduce Gantu and having him, you know, get Stitch off to another planet or asteroid, whatever he said. So he escapes and we meet Lilo and she's underwater trying to give sandwiches to the fishes, and it's a really bad scene because the ocean doesn't look pretty at all. But she's late to her dancing classes, but she's also like on time. They also made the change that Nani was supposed to be there to watch Lilo, and this is where they establish how Nani's not really a good sister because she's always late to Lilo's dancing, or at least she is late to this one. So yeah, such a weird change that they decided to do. They just made her a bad sister. All that happens the same exact way. Jumba and Pleakley are sent to the planet to try and capture Stitch, and this is when they decide to activate their new ability to turn into humans. And Pleakley, well, he has an issue with walking on 2 feet because he has 3, but then Junba acts like he has issues walking on 2 feet even though he has before. I don't get it. Why did he have issues walking? There was a lot of moments where they talked about how Earth is such a primitive planet. Oh, the asteroids always reset this Earth. They're pretty peaceful too, and we're using them to grow mosquitoes. It's just the same shit. They do this in so many movies where they talk about how Earth is such an uninteresting planet, yet they don't explore any other planets outside of Earth. Apparently we're just so lame, but you don't want to take the time to talk about other cool planets or whatever. As they're trying to also find out where Stitch is, they're checking into a hotel, and as they're in an elevator, first off, there's a TV on the elevator that displays the news. And it's such a lazy way to display information. It's like, oh look, now the characters know where to go find Stitch. So fucking bad. We later cut to a bunch of scenes where Nani is being told, hey, Lilo's gonna go away unless you get this shit together. She was told to clean up the house, pay off all the bills that are on her table, and get health insurance. All that in like a week, which is bull fucking shit. She was never going to do that even if she got the job the next hour. Like, do you know how impossible that is? At least tell her she should get it started on. They then play the scene where they all like hang out together in bed. Nani's, you know, interacting with Lilo, being like, I love you and all, and then the shooting star happens, and Lilo sees the shooting star, she makes the wish, and she prays for a best friend and wishes for it, I guess. And Nani sees and hears this, but this is where I have another big issue with this film. She does absolutely nothing with this information. I guess I vaguely remember Lilo saying that Nani allowed her to get a pet at one point, but Nani doesn't take Lilo to the pound. Lilo goes by herself. The reason Nani listened in on Lilo's wish because she wanted to make her happy, and she heard that she just wanted a friend, so she thought, I'm gonna take her to the pound and go get her a dog so she can have a best friend. She doesn't do that at all in this film. Instead, it's Lilo that does it. So why the fuck did Nani listen in on her making a wish if she wasn't gonna act on it or do anything about it with that information? Also, Stitch landed, he crashed the party, and he got run over by a truck. He also met the frog, so that was pretty cute, and he gets brought to the pound the next day. He doesn't stay there overnight, and this is another big stupid change in the film. When I talk about stupid changes, it's changes made in the film that completely disregards the original film, and what's the right word? It doesn't understand what the original film was trying to do. There are certain things that old movies did back in the day to establish certain key points and relationships and dialogues so that the audience is not confused and can catch on to it. So Stitch being brought into the pound the next day makes it to where Stitch doesn't have this whole like, oh, I'm the big dog of the house, I'm scary, and all the other dogs. That doesn't happen, and that's important. So when Lilo then finds Stitch, she's like, oh, I want you as a dog. In the original film, Lilo is supposed to see that Stitch is one of the only dogs around because all the other dogs are scared, and she was even told that Stitch is such an outcast that he scares all the other dogs and he's not like a dog, and that makes Lilo want Stitch even more. This film does not do the basic thing that made Lilo want Stitch to begin with. Lilo wanted Stitch because he was different. She felt like she was different to other people. That is why Lilo wanted Stitch. Speaking of Stitch, he's not even named Stitch for the right reason. One of the reasons is why Lilo calls him Stitch is because it's such a simple dog name and it's easy to understand. But also, Stitch in general was supposed, at least this is a theory, Stitch was supposed to be the metaphorical Stitch that brought Lilo and Nani together and made them a family. Instead, in this film, Stitch makes a rip on the car seat and Nani makes a comment about how she's got to stitch it all together. After knowing Stitch for like half a day, she then decides to name him that. What a stupid way to name a fucking character off of a situation where he rips the car. Yeah, let's name this pet who becomes our best friend off after like a somewhat negative memory. Holy fucking shit. Bubbles catches on to this whole like Stitch situation. He becomes the second half of Gantu that Junba also took over. He also is revealed to be a CIA agent from the beginning, so there's no big surprise, and throughout the entire movie, Bubbles just becomes this goon that just hangs around. I'm definitely skipping over parts, but I just want to talk about the plot points that was really like, what the fuck? Eventually, halfway through the film, when it's the scene where Lilo is teaching Stitch about the ugly duckling story about how how like family finds each other and you need to find the beauty in each other, and family may be broken, but you still got each other. I don't really know, but it doesn't matter. That story is not repeated in the live action remake. And it's so dumb because at the end of the film, Stitch quotes that book as if we've read that. So he just quotes these things out of nowhere that we have no idea how he got it. And yeah, I guess they somewhat replaced it with the photo scenes, but why do that? Why replace such a simple story that kids can also understand along with Stitch so that he can later then use it at the end of the film? But I guess it was just better for them to just use the photos as family. Whatever. If I had to guess, they probably just didn't want to bother using the ugly duckling like story to pay it like revenues or something. And again, maybe some people could see that them or Lilo teaching Stitch family and the meaning of it through the photos was better. I don't know. So, you know, I'll give the movie that. Maybe they changed it for the better, but still, I don't understand at the end why he was quoting things as if he read that book. Maybe he learned it all from Lilo that night. Honestly, that was the scene where I was kind of just getting bored of everything, to be perfectly honest. Speaking of boring, throughout the entire movie, Jumba and Pleakley's plot is just such a waste of time. I honestly just don't even pay attention. Honestly, just look on your phone, open some Pokemon packs, or just do anything else. It's so boring watching those people just try to catch Stitch, unlike the original movie where it was fun and interesting. Very boring. And yeah, like a lot of the same shit was happening. Nani was trying to get her job, but shit kept fucking up, so she had to give Lilo away. And there's this moment where Stitch was going to turn himself in, or at least like surrender to Jumba by going back to the pound, and Jumba eventually captures him, and as well as Lilo, she sneaks onto the ship, and it's not Stitch that needs to go save Lilo. They just both wind up on the ship because why not? They just don't want to have that scene where he skyrockets to the sky, which was a very cool scene, but again, why the fuck would they bother wasting time animating that? There's a fight scene that happens. Jumba gets defeated. The ship crashes into water. The Grand Councilwoman is like, hey, Stitch, you can stay here. I don't care. And yeah, that's Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, Jumba is like the enemy. Bubbles and Pleakley are basically the people that's looking over Lilo and Stitch. Kind of weird with Jumba and Pleakley not being together because they're kind of a duo. And yeah, Nani goes to school and forgets the meaning of Ohana. That's Lilo and Stitch 2025. Fuck this movie. I don't like it. There is not a single good thing about this film. The only thing I liked about this film was the fact that Stitch was on the screen for like the 5 minutes that he was on. That was good. That's about it. When I saw this film, people were clapping. It's so embarrassing clapping to this fucking movie. My girlfriend made a comment about how people like that are just sheep. Like, they're just clapping because other people are clapping and they don't know why, but they just are. And that's honestly the best way I could describe the people who think this movie is good. If you like this movie, fuck what I say, who cares? But I genuinely cannot imagine a universe where this movie is good. I just can't. And I'm sorry, I have to call into question your taste. And I'm only also being this spicy or this sassy because Lilo and Stitch is one of my favorite movies ever, and I expect so much from this fucking company to make a live action Lilo and Stitch, but they failed on every single fucking aspect of it. This is such an embarrassing film and such an embarrassing fucking movie to come out from Disney. It doesn't even fucking matter because this movie made $340 million in the box office after the first weekend. I know I said that in the last Snow White review that these live action remakes needs to end, and this movie or that movie not making a lot of money might be a sign of that. But fuck that shit, they're already talking about sequels now, so get ready for more live action remakes, because we're getting more and more slop. I didn't even bother talking about this. I don't care that this is a kids movie. I've talked about this topic to fucking death, to the point where I've even made my own video. I'm gonna link it right now. I don't care if this is a kids movie. Kids deserve better. Speaking of kids in the audience weren't even watching this fucking movie. They were so bored and so uninterested in it. You can just tell that they were forced to go see this movie with their parents. What child genuinely was looking forward to the new Lilo and Stitch live action remake? Put those words into your head and tell me how the fuck a child is interested in this. If they don't know who Stitch is, then why the fuck would they even get excited? It's just their parents taking them to go see this movie that's not even as good as the original 2002. I even know that for a fact because the kids, when I watched this movie, there was a lot of kids there. They were just talking throughout the film, which is a sign that they're bored and not interested. And not only that, when the movie ended, all of them looked like they just wanted to go home to take a nap, and I could just hear their parents. Oh god, this is so fucking cringe. I could just hear their parents like trying to justify reasoning for watching this, asking their kids how they liked it, and I heard even one of them was just like, it was just kind of okay. Why the fuck did you bring your kids to go see this shitty movie? If you're a parent, please, for the love of God, just don't go see this. I promise you there's a 90% chance that your child is not interested in general. No amount of candy and sugar and popcorn and soda is going to get a child interested in this movie. They will not like it. I promise you that. They will not be talking about this film afterwards. I promise you. Hell, this is so funny. I just thought about this. Literally, as I was walking out of the screen, kids were more excited and talking about the Minecraft movie and the Minecraft movie posters more than the movie that they just fucking saw. That's embarrassing. Kids like the Minecraft movie more than this shit. Yeah, I mentioned it before. This movie made a lot of money. They're gonna make more. It's also stupid because this movie was longer than the original 2002 film, and yet it managed to be worse and give out less information and do a worser job at, you know, displaying like the relationships and the emotions of certain characters. I don't really know where I'm going, but this movie did a really bad job of adapting it and remaking it. Just watch the 2002 because I will just keep saying that. On the topic of my girlfriend, it's also pretty funny because she woke up from a sleep and we left to the movie at 5 because the movie was at 6, and we got out. She wanted to go right back to bed. Fucking crazy. I was even bored half the time, but I managed to get all the energy I needed to record this. So yeah, I'm gonna just, that's really all I want to talk about. I hate this movie so fucking much. It's one of the worst movies to come out in 2025. It's definitely up there. I don't know as far as in the ranking goes, but this is definitely top 5. My score for this film is, if you haven't guessed it, a 1 out of 10. Fuck this movie. Don't watch it. Anyone who worked on this film did not care at all for this movie. It's lazy, it's boring, it's uninspiring, it's not special at all, and nobody will remember it. It's almost as if Disney is trying to make these movies bad on purpose so they can just get people to subscribe to Disney Plus and watch the original movie so they don't need to pay the like actors and actresses that are dead. That's just a theory. I don't know. A film theory? I don't know. A film theory, if you're out there, you can have that idea, but you gotta shout me out. And yeah, what do you guys think about the film? Am I an asshole? Is this movie good? Tell me what you guys think about this film. I really want to know. And yeah, while you're at it, please like the video. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. I get so happy reading comments and seeing that you all like this video. And yeah, while you're at it, subscribe, because I'm going to be making more reviews, and I promise they will not be this long. I only made it this long because I have a lot to say about Lilo and Stitch, and I love it so much, and I hope this long video shows you how dedicated I am to making these reviews. So yeah, that's it. You all have a nice one, and enjoy the nap, because after this movie, you're definitely going to be sleeping good.